अब विजिबल है?
यस सर, विजुअल है।
So we have already discussed the types of electronic communication system. On the basis of what we can divide them into separate categories. We have also discussed the advantages, applications, drawbacks, analog communication system, as well as digital communication system. The difference between analog communication system and digital communication system is that analog information, we cannot use the repeaters. Repeaters are cannot be used. It is difficult to use them. The information is open to all, accessible to all. It is not a secret information. Further, we require point-to-point communication also. Digital information is secure, is one-to-one correspondence possible. There are no chances of widespread of the information. For secret purposes, for army or like that, the digital communication systems are used. In analog communication system, coding is not possible, so that is disadvantage, main disadvantage, due to which we cannot use it for personal use or secret information use. Digital information can be coded, so we can use it for the secret purposes or for transferring or transmitting the secret information, just for the example in case of Army or Central Bureau of Investigations or so. Now let us talk about the various components a electronic communication system should have. The topic of our syllabus will be elements of communication system. What is a communication system? We have already discussed, and what are its elements? We will now discuss one by one. First, we will discuss the block diagram of a communication system. Okay, the main purpose of a communication system is to transfer the information from one point to the another point. The point where information is generated is called as transmitting point. The point where information is used or received is called as receiving station. And generally, we want to transfer the information in such a way that the transmitting station and receiving station are not close to one another. They are very distant away from one another. Here we show various blocks, and these blocks are nothing but the various components of a communication system. So what are the various components of a communication system are shown in this diagram with the help of blocks. The first block represents the information source, then input transducer, which will transform the energy of one form into another form. Then we require a transmitter through which we will transfer the information. Then we will have a channel. Channel is nothing but a point-to-point contact, through optical fiber, through wire, etc., or wireless channel that is radiating or radiation of electromagnetic waves in space. That is also a channel. So from transmitter, the information is sent through the channel. That may be wire, that may be optical fiber, that may be space, which will be utilized by the electromagnetic waves, and the antenna will radiate the electromagnetic waves, and information is transferred. And in the end, we will have a receiver that will receive the information. But the important thing is error in between the transmitting and receiving points. The error is called as noise. This noise is large in case of analog communication systems, and it is least in case of digital data communication systems. Then after receiving the information, we have a output transducer. Again, this is an electronic equipment which will transform the information in one energy to the another energy. So this is the block diagram a communication system. So one by one we discuss the component of this communication system. information source. So
स्लाइड में रुक गई है सर। इंफॉर्मेशन सोर्स नीचे दिख रहा है लेकिन वो आधा नीचे है और आधा ऊपर है। वॉइस भी नहीं आ रही सर। अभी वो नीचे ही है।
नीचे ही है।
यस सर।
अब दिख रही है स्क्रीन?
अभी नहीं दिख रही।
ओके
स्लाइड
ओके अब शो हो रही है सही? हेलो
सर सेम प्रॉब्लम है पिछले वाली।
सर सेम प्रॉब्लम है, सिर्फ 3 लाइनें दिखाई दे रही हैं सर। हो गया ठीक।
चलो ओके एक दो स्लाइड चल के देखते हैं। यदि प्रॉब्लम परसिस्ट रही तो लेक्चर भी शेड्यूल कर लेंगे, कोई बात नहीं। आप तब तक अटेंडेंस मार्क कर दीजिए। Okay, so the various components of a communication system we have already discussed with the help of diagram, and the first component of electronic communication system is the information source. So first we should have some information that has to be transmitted. So the information can be some words, some group of words, some code, some symbol, some sound signal, some video, visual, etc. So all these word, group of word, code, symbol, sound, visual are the source of information, and they will be called as information, and the source is producing them is called as information source. So we will call that message as a desired message that we want to send, that we want to transmit. The second is input transducer. The second block in the block diagram is input transducer. Transducer is nothing but a simply an electronic device which will convert one form of energy into another form. So such as speech is converted into some electrical signal, and that will be transmitted. So information source is a human being who is speaking, and that speech or word or group of words will be captured by the transducer, and transducer will convert the sound into electrical signal, and these electrical signal are nothing but time varying electrical signal, and they have to be transferred. So the first block diagram represents the information source. The source of information may be a human being, maybe some animal, maybe some bird, etc. So the information is now converted into electrical signals. The electrical signals are formed by using electric transducers. Then after this we require a transmitter. Now we have information. Information is converted into electric signals, time varying electrical signals. That information has now to be transmitted. So for transmitting,
इसमें स्टॉप हो गई है सर। ट्रांसमीटर वाली हो गया सर, ठीक हो गया।
अब एक जना कोई भी ऐसे बीच में बोलता है ये अच्छा है, इसमें सबको फायदा है, हम बीच में मतलब वॉइस कंफ्यूजन नहीं रहेगा। हर्ष या प्रशांत कोई भी एक दोनों में से बताता रहे बीच में जहां प्रॉब्लम है। ओके, सो ट्रांसमीटर transmitter will now transfer the information which is the voice signal have frequency ranging from हाँ ठीक है, आप बोलिए।
सर ओनली वाइट ब्लैंक शीट दिख रही है।
आज भी एक्चुअली यहाँ ना बारिश है काफी तेज, तो
Yes, sir.
उस दिन भी बारिश की वजह से नेटवर्क की प्रॉब्लम थी, तो आज भी यहाँ बारिश हो रही होगी शायद। बोलिए, प्रेजेंट हो रही है इसकी?
नो सर अभी नहीं हुई, होगी सर।
होगी, ठीक है ठीक है। बस अभी 5 मिनट का काम पेंडिंग है, बस यदि 5 मिनट नेट ठीक चलता है तो आज का काम हो जाएगा। So now we have the information source which will produce the information. Information may be a sound, a word, group of word, code, visual, audio, etc. So that information has to be converted into electrical signal. Electrical signals are formed or generated using an electronic equipment. That electronic equipment is called as a transducer, whose purpose is to convert the energy of one form into another form. And here the energy is obtained in the form of electrical signals. These electrical signals, once generated, now have to be transmitted. So the function of the transmitter is to process these electrical signals which are generated by the transducer by varying its frequency, its amplitude, or so. So generally, the amplifiers are used. Why the amplifiers are used? Because we want to send the information to long distances, and to send information to long distances, we have to amplify the signal. So signal amplification is achieved by the modulation. So modulation is an important thing at this stage, which is required to change or alter the frequency, the amplification of the signal, and the type of modulation that has to be achieved depending upon the type of information we want to send. We want to send a open information, we may use the analog modulation technique. We want to send a secret information, we can send digital modulation technique. We want to have a cheap information, then we can use the analog, and if we want to send the high rate or fast data rate, then we can use digital communication. The next important point is the channel and the noise. Hello? Hello?
Yes sir.
Am I audible? Am I audible?
Yes sir.
Okay. बस ये एक स्लाइड इसके बाद आज का काम हो जाएगा. The channel and the noise. As we have already said, at the transmitting station, now the information is processed. It is in electrical form. It is now transmitted. So there are two possible ways of transmission: the open transmission or point-to-point contact transmission. Open transmission will require radiation of the electromagnetic waves, and point-to-point contact transmission will require the wires, the optical fibers, or so. So the point contact channels will require the wire lines, microwave links, optical fibers, etc. And the example of this is local transmission through telephone. The second is the guided electromagnetic waves, which are nothing but the carrier waves superimposed by our electrical modulating signal. These carrier waves will take the message in the space, and then it will send the information to the receiving station. Now we face a problem in between. During point-to-point contact as well as electromagnetic radiation in the space, we face a problem of noise. Noise is any undesired, unwanted signal that is superimposed upon the modulating wave and the carrier wave. So it will now try to change the shape of the modulating and carrier wave, and in turn it will try to change the message. So our purpose is to have minimum noise. We face a problem in analog communication that noise is very high, whereas in digital communication the noise is very low. So that's why the preferable scheme is generally the digital communication system. Then receiver, as the information is sent by the transmitter in space electromagnetic spectrum radiated waveform or point-to-point contact through the wires, through cables, through microlinks, or through optical fibers. Now this information has reached the receiver. So receiver is again an electronic device. It is again a transducer which will convert the energy in one form to the energy in another. So here again at receiving station we will have a transducer, and here we will do the reverse process of modulation, that is called as demodulation. So in the end we will have a end user, that is called as destination, where the information is received and information is used. So this was all about the block diagram of electronic communication system and various components of electronic communication system. So link will be available for 1 or 2 minutes more, so that you can write your name and roll number for the attendance. Link is available.